Hello, hello. Audio check, testing, testing. Maybe a little low. It's fine though. I mean, I have it at max. I'd probably just speak in low and plus the music. Alright. We have Scorpio Cup finals today. I have watched it already, as you can see here. Um, so I know what happens. Yeah, I got first. I wanted to just watch it and look at all the other Umas for posterity's sake. Um, so we're gonna do that. So I have a record of what I faced and what I overcame. I do think it is funny. We'll get to these in a second. I do think it's funny that you can, after you win, put the platinum title on to let the other people in your lobby know, hey, I know you haven't watched it yet, but you don't win. That is, you shouldn't be able to do that, but it is a little funny. So we're gonna look at all the runners here. We have first up this Taiki Shuttle. I don't know much about Taiki Shuttle. I don't own her, but it's on. No stopping me. Head on. All I've got. It looks pretty fearsome. Outside of no medium S, no medium S is not really what you want. But I mean, I've had my Turf S. Guy was won a couple races over the course of Scorpio Cup, so it's not like it's a huge thing to overcome. This is my Suzuka Medium S Turf S. This was a cracked um, run. Unfortunately, only level 2 view from the lead is mine. I did not really know at the time I was building this that if I want to get easy level 5s, just run Japan Cup. You know, she's going to win it. Like, I've never lost Japan Cup with her, so. Like, if you're losing Japan Cup, the run's over anyway. If you're building Runaway Suzuka, at least. So, only level 2. I did build one with level 5, but it didn't, and it had medium S. What did it not have? It didn't have something. It had worse stats. Like, it had less than 400 guts. It did have max speed, but it had worse stats overall. And in testing, this Suzuka always outperformed it. So this is what I went with. This is the enemy Summer Marzensky. These stats are very scary, especially since Summer Marzensky is one of the more consistent Umas to overtake Suzuka before she can get angling and scheming and unrestrained. I've had that happen multiple times over the course of uh, round 1 and round 2. Yeah, and this looks like outside of not having medium S, this looks very well built to my casual eyes. The 1-star angling and scheming, that's crazy. You got angling and scheming off that. Although I don't know if is it like guaranteed to get this? I don't know. For the parents. Um, is it just like the grandparents you have to work for the Sparks? I don't know. I play this game casually. I don't do numbers. This is kind of what scared me the most, seeing these stats right here. Also, like, look at all this. No stop shooting for victory, Professor Courage. Ugh. Speed Star. What even gives Speed Star? I don't know. Probably this. Just because I don't have that and I've never seen Speed Star before. This die with Scarlet is straight up just better than mine outside of not having shooting for victory. Groundwork, yeah. Well, at least the stats are better than mine. And I'm pretty sure it outperforms me as well. So this is the Marzinski I got. I made this last night, day before the finals. This is the best Marzinski I ever gotten, and I believe when I got her, it sets new scenario record for Unity Cup. So pretty nuts run. Outside of the fact that I didn't get front runner savvy or fall runner or anything, my groundwork is sympathy, subdued front runners, prudent positioning, and taking the lead. So she generally does in practice activate groundwork, but she activates it right before the end of the early race, which doesn't really help when you want to activate it straight out the gate. So she's better than my previous Marzinski, mostly because of, like the front runner, medium corners, tail held high, stuff like that. Like she just has more skills and better skills outside of the early race for groundwork. Um, but it was so hard to get shooting for victory and medium S, much less one or the other. But I got angling and scheming every time. Yeah, like this is a cracked run, and I'm happy with what I got. I also made this die well last night. Is the last run that I had for a borrow. And outside of not getting, I mean, it could be worse, could be better. Not having shooting for victory, kind of low stam, not 800, neither of these are 800. This isn't 700. I believe my previous Scarlet had 800, 800, and then 700 here. And it also had angling and scheming and ready stuff before. It did not have medium S though, and it didn't have uh, this good of skills. It had groundwork, and that was basically it. It was groundwork, angling, scheming, red ace, and it still overtook Suzuka sometimes. So I was actually really worried about this Scarlet proccing red ace and overtaking Suzuka. Thankfully, that did not happen. Um, this evil nature, when I opened this one, when I opened the race and I saw my lobby, I was both ecstatic and absolutely worried, like crushed that I had double evil nature in my lobby. Because my Suzuka does have good stam and rosy outlook, and she can survive double dom. But like double mystifying murmur and all seeing eyes, if like everything hits her, subdued front runners, like if she gets hit by everything, it's gonna be rough. So I knew there was definitely potential that she just dies in the second half of the race, and there's nothing I could do about that. So, but I was absolutely ecstatic that there's not only not any other Suzukas, but there was no Christmas Ogre. I ran like a ton of room matches last night before I was testing these two to see how much better they did. And Christmas Ogre was killing me in rooms. Like I could not hardly win anything. I could hardly outplace them at all either. So those are our opponents and our Umas. Here is the race. Yep, there's the race. We ended up winning. I was at work when I checked if we'd won, and it was it was hard not to pop off. It was really hard to not pop off when I saw that I'd won. First out of 7,604. I don't know what the bottom number means. I've asked some people, they don't know what it means either. Maybe it's how many people have uh, entered the finals at that point in time, because I've seen people with lower numbers and higher numbers. Um, don't know, but really happy with this. I I did not put the Scorpio Platinum title on immediately because I was at work, so I had to, I couldn't spend all day looking at my phone. But I did. I hope I didn't spoil the result for the other two um, participants. I don't know. I put it on like half an hour. I'm sure I would not be surprised if I spoiled it for them. Anyway, here's the final placing. Only won by 1 3/4 lengths. I'm not sure how much medium S gives lengthwise, approximately. If you told me it was 2 lengths, I would be so happy that this guy didn't have medium S, but I don't know. I've heard like straightaway spurt is like 2 lengths. Um, I think somebody said that during Libra Cup. And then, yeah. Yeah, these two so far behind. I saw so many nice natures in round two. I went from almost no nice natures to like double nice nature race after race in round two. So I'm really glad that I got what 840 stam plus rosy outlook. I I got barely enough stam. Yeah, this summer Maruzensky, I was watching the race, seeing how close I was getting to Suzuka. I was terrified, but not as terrified as I actually would have been if it was either of these Scarlets. because anytime Scarlet gets close, my own Scarlet gets close, she activates her opponent race, and I immediately know the race is lost because she's gonna overtake Suzuka. So not getting griefed by Scarlet in the finals, amazing. And I think that will do it. Just wanted to go over the race real quick so I can look back on this someday. Peace.